On June 24, 2025, a calculated strike was imminent. Ukraine prepared to deliver another devastating blow against Russia's vulnerable Black Sea Fleet operations. The targeted vessel maintained standard protocols, following predictable routes without defensive maneuvers, executing a deliberate, methodical advance along the contested shoreline, carrying personnel and critical supply cargo. However, beneath the surface lay deception. 30 kilometers offshore, an unmanned predator approached with lethal precision, producing no wake, generating no sound, maintaining maximum velocity on intercept trajectory. This weapon was identified as Magura V5, Ukraine's proven autonomous surface strike platform, equipped with over 300 kilograms explosive payload, designed for singular operational purpose. Engage rapidly, strike decisively, and sacrifice itself completely. Advanced sensors provided continuous target tracking, utilizing infrared detection systems. The autonomous system didn't merely observe, it calculated distance, bearing angle, and optimal impact geometry during final approach, operating independently without human intervention requirements. At 05:13 hours, terminal engagement phase commenced. The decisive impact followed immediately. A primary detonation breached the landing craft's structural integrity. Secondary explosions erupted across the stern compartments. Dense smoke enveloped the vessel as structural failure progressed rapidly, causing catastrophic hull separation. Ukrainian surveillance drones documented complete engagement, broadcasting footage within hours of execution, creating viral documentation viewed globally, showing twisted metal, burning debris scattered across water with direct messaging. Enemy landing craft destroyed near Kherson region. Indeed, this represented more than routine warfare. This engagement demonstrates three strategic realities. Ukraine's naval dominance across Black Sea sectors, achieved without traditional vessels. Critical vulnerabilities within Russian naval operations, and complete obsolescence of conventional maritime defense strategies. Precise detection timing remains operationally classified. However, intelligence confirms this fact. The Magura V5 had acquired target lock significantly before final impact. Rather than pursuing, it remained positioned, maintaining station beyond visual detection range, concealed by radar clutter and horizon masking, operating at high velocity while maintaining surface contact. Strategic positioning was methodically planned. The platform utilized stealth hull design, incorporating composite materials for radar signature reduction. Onboard navigation systems continuously adjusted trajectory, integrating satellite data with passive sensor feeds, maintaining electronic silence, preventing early warning alerts. Upon reaching 2-kilometer proximity threshold, operational mode shifted from stealth to attack configuration. Intelligence sources report the drone achieved 70 knots velocity, equivalent to 130 kilometers hourly. That maximum speed, final approach, covered 1 mile within 30 seconds. Ukrainian aerial surveillance positioned overhead recorded complete engagement sequence. The landing craft continued forward, completely unaware. Magura materialized briefly, visible momentarily before devastating impact, followed by intense flash, explosion, total destruction. Impact occurred low, positioned aft of centerline. This targeting selection was significant, coinciding with typical personnel compartment locations. Any embarked soldiers aboard faced immediate catastrophic consequences. The explosive detonation generated pressure waves, completely destroying hull structural integrity. Subsequent secondary detonations originated from internal munitions or fuel stores, significantly amplifying total destructive effects. Within minutes, flames consumed the entire deck area, life preservation equipment, and wreckage debris scattered across surrounding waters as vessel developed severe portside listing. Propulsion ceased, mobility completely eliminated. No defensive response, no emergency signal transmission, only dense smoke ascending into morning atmosphere. Ukrainian command confirmed successful engagement within minutes via encrypted communications. The Magura drone predictably was destroyed during impact detonation. This outcome was strategically intended, representing kamikaze mission profile, achieving complete success. Vice Admiral Alexei Meshpapa, commanding Ukrainian naval forces, publicly acknowledged the operation with concise but strategically clear statement. We destroyed another Black Sea Fleet landing vessel operating along western Kherson regional coastline. I commend our naval personnel for exceptional execution, united toward ultimate victory. This represented more than tactical achievement. It constituted strategic messaging. Previous Russian vessels had suffered drone attacks. However, this execution was flawless. Russian forces possessed no advance warning. The target wasn't a cruiser or guided missile platform, but rather a landing craft, smaller, more maneuverable, yet equally threatening. These platforms are specifically engineered for transporting armored vehicles and personnel rapidly from vessel to shore. Operationally, they avoid direct combat engagement, serving as logistical force multipliers. However, when positioned incorrectly at vulnerable moments, they become exceptionally exposed targets. Unlike advanced warships equipped with radar countermeasures or close-in weapon defensive systems, this particular landing craft possessed no capability to counter incoming threats. No sea-wise systems, no anti-drone interceptor capabilities, lacking even adequate surveillance watch. When Magura V5 executed impact, it eliminated more than watercraft. It terminated operational mission, embarked personnel aboard, never achieved their assigned destination, transported supplies or mobile equipment, now rest on seabed or burn within wreckage debris. Additionally, one more consideration, every Russian unit regionally observed the rising smoke column. This visual demonstration delivers psychological messaging requiring no interpretation. The Magura V5 transcends mere technological advancement. It exemplifies why Ukraine achieves naval victories without traditional warship fleets. Conceptually, it functions like waterborne cruise missile, approximately equivalent to small speedboat dimensions. It operates just above surface level, employing low-visibility hull design with stealth geometry. No crew compartment, no piloting station, containing only electronic systems, sensors, and warhead. Once deployed, it operates silently, maintaining high velocity while remaining extremely difficult to intercept. Technical specifications are exceptionally impressive. Maximum operational range reaches 800 kilometers. Peak velocity exceeds 70 knots. Warhead payload, approximately 320 kilograms explosives. Navigation integrates GPS positioning, inertial guidance systems, and live video transmission. Communications utilize encrypted protocols, satellite uplink, or pre-programmed autonomous operation modes. Design architecture remains modular, enabling warhead modification, sensor upgrades, and software customization, accommodating diverse mission profiles, from reconnaissance to direct strike operations. Certain configurations include electronic countermeasures or decoy systems, specifically designed to confuse enemy defensive networks. However, what makes Magura V5 particularly lethal is its tactical approach methodology. It stays surface-bound, meaning zero radar signature in aerial detection, no overhead footprint, blending seamlessly with wave patterns that mimics floating debris on thermal sensors, until engagement becomes inevitable. Russian vessels designed for deep water operations lack capability for detecting low-profile maritime threats. Approaching from waterline, their radar systems scan upward, their targeting systems elevated. The Magura V5 exploits this tactical vulnerability for approach. Survivability becomes irrelevant here. Detonation remains the sole objective. Coordinated operations define its deployment pattern. Ukraine has refined multi-platform tactics where several drones, combining aerial and maritime systems, work in coordination. Diversionary strikes enable primary target elimination. The V5 typically operates within these swarm configurations. It proves rapid, economical, and devastatingly precise. Manufactured in concealed facilities, directed from protected command centers, deployed from harbors or civilian transport vehicles. It represents everything conventional naval forces struggle against. Unpredictable, difficult to track, and virtually unstoppable once operational momentum begins. In this instance, the Magura achieved more than vessel destruction. It demonstrated definitively that drone systems now control these waters. Behind the controls, or more precisely, the encrypted command interface, operated Ukraine's 385th Unmanned Surface Vehicle Brigade. Most remain unaware of their existence. Strategic anonymity by design. This represents the world's first naval formation, composed entirely of drone operators. No traditional sailors, no vessels, no sonar facilities, only networks of engineers, technicians, and remote control specialists operating from bunkers and command installations throughout Ukraine. Direct exposure to combat zones becomes unnecessary. Robotic systems assume all tactical risks. Established discreetly under Ukraine's Defense Intelligence Directorate, the HER, this brigade initiated operations during late 2023, maintaining operational security both tactically and politically. As maritime drone warfare expanded throughout 2024, this formation became the primary strike element. By mid-2025, they transcended experimental status, achieving decisive operational capability. Each attack mission they execute involves comprehensive planning beyond drone and target selection. Teams coordinate satellite intelligence gathering, meteorological analysis, naval radar vulnerability mapping, and Russian communication pattern analysis. Precision planning extends to meter-level accuracy, approximately 3 feet. The Magura V5 that struck the Russian amphibious vessel underwent strategic positioning rather than simple deployment, guided and calibrated continuously by operators specialized in digital maritime warfare applications. These operators differ significantly from traditional naval personnel. Many possess programming backgrounds. Others transitioned from competitive drone racing to defense contracting. Significant numbers emerge from Ukraine's expanding technology, military integration sector. Envision casual attire and computer interfaces over naval uniforms, while maintaining lethal operational precision. Their strategic impact continues expanding. Every Russian vessel operating along southern coastal areas must now consider whether the 385th maintains surveillance, because active monitoring likely means a Magura already approaches target, undetectable, silent, and moments from detonation. This represented more than tactical success. It demonstrates deliberate strategic transformation. Ukraine's objectives extend beyond Russian vessel damage. They seek complete naval warfare restructuring within Black Sea operations, proving remarkably successful. Since early 2024, Ukraine has executed hundreds of unmanned surface and aerial drone operations across Crimea, Sevastopol, and occupied coastal territories. The Magura V5 represents one system among many, yet symbolizes emerging maritime dominance principles, relying on velocity, stealth, and software integration rather than frigates or submarine platforms. Statistical evidence supports these claims. Between January and May 2025, specifically, Ukrainian maritime drone strikes generated over $10 billion in verified damage to Russian naval assets. Casualties include multiple Raptor-class patrol vessels, the intelligence vessel Ivan Kors, and the Caesar Krunikov, a major amphibious ship destroyed off Crimean coastline. This recent engagement near Kherson transmits clear messaging. No Black Sea region remains secure for Russian naval operations, including shallow water zones previously considered protected. Psychological warfare effects prove equally significant. Russian forces can no longer maintain predictable operations along southern front positions. Supply lines face continuous threat assessment. Even transporting dozen personnel by water now presents substantial risk factors. This forces increased reliance on overland convoy systems, inherently slower, more exposed to aerial attacks, and easier interception targets. Morale degradation becomes measurable. During July 2025, Russia officially reduced Navy Day celebration activities in St. Petersburg, citing security considerations. The underlying reality remains evident. Nations avoid canceling major military commemorations unless coastal protection capabilities prove insufficient. This extends beyond Kherson specifically. It represents fundamental redefinition of maritime territorial control. Ukraine's drone fleet transformed defensive positioning into offensive maritime dominance. Lacking traditional naval parity with Russian forces, they developed entirely new naval operational concepts with lower costs, faster strike capability, and post-mission invisibility. Conventional naval doctrine emphasizing hull, displacement tonnage, and firepower becomes obsolete. Russia's strategic question becomes increasingly urgent. What response when adversaries sink vessels without requiring ships? Debris continues burning. Russian formations near Kherson likely revise transportation protocols immediately. While within concrete command bunkers, another Magura undergoes pre-launch preparation. Additional strikes appear inevitable. Ukraine's drone operators possess proven operational systems with increasing operational confidence per successful mission. Development includes enhanced payload capacity, improved artificial intelligence navigation, plus drone coordination networks. Oceanic control no longer depends on largest vessel displacement, but rather fastest decision-making capabilities. Moscow receives unambiguous messaging. Comprehensive wave pattern protection proves impossible. Strategic considerations become particularly intriguing. Will Ukraine continue targeting smaller support vessels, like this engagement, systematically degrading Russian logistics, or escalate operations against major surface combat platforms, again, which approach demonstrates superior strategic value, sustained pressure on soft targets, bleeding fleet capabilities gradually, or concentrated risk for high-value, high-visibility target elimination?